Alright, so we're going to clean up this edge right here, get the paint off of it and whatever rust. This whole section right here is for the inner rocker. That will sit somewhat like that. This whole section I'm going to do a separate video on, just specifically for this and about this for the Suburban. This is made for the pickup truck. The Suburban's different in this whole area, obviously, because on the pickup truck, this just ends right there, and this continues. But I still have to drill the holes for the plug welds for down here. But after that, this piece should be ready to go in. See, I line it up there. This is actually curved, so I might have to hammer that, or I'm going to have to hammer this in. And then same thing down here, this starts diving in and curving. So I'm going to have to hammer that down and over. But that's it. Let's get the grinding. Forgot my ear protection. Good Lord. I could live with that. So as I was putting this video together, I realized that I completely skipped over and didn't record really of how I lined up this inner rocker with the original body and, you know, established this cut line. So what I did to help me locate where the new inner rocker goes, I kept a piece of the old outer rocker. I lined it up to the spot welds, and that helped me locate the height, you know, how high it should be up. In addition to that, I also took measurements of the original one before I cut it out. So with that and this, it really helped me locate exactly where this needs to be. And right here, I don't know if you can see, there might be a little hole. I used this sheet metal screw, self-tapping, and drilled that in there and locked the panel in, and then traced it out. I'll show you what I did up front to locate it. Locating the front rocker panel is pretty self-explanatory. You have your cab support right here, your rocker sits right on top of that, and then your kick panel sits on that. So pretty much I just threw these all together, you know, put some clamps on here to lock everything in place, and that set my inner rocker to where it should be. Also, I took measurements from here down to the floor. So with that all combined, it got me pretty much exactly where that rocker panel should be. I hope. Alright, so I knocked out that corner, gave me an area to fill in with some weld. Let's see here. Obviously, I'll be pushing and pulling in these different pieces as I'm welding to set them right, but for the most part, I think she's good. So, before I can weld on the inner rocker, I have to modify it a bit because this is for a pickup truck. Back here, it has this flare-out section that I have to remove. I have to flatten this out. Being a Suburban, this just continues flat and goes right underneath the B-pillar. Alright, so just a quick recap what we had originally here. So we removed this piece. Then we cut out this guy right here, which will allow us now to lay this flat down and weld it onto here. Get a filler piece from back here, and now we'll have one continuous long flat inner rocker for the Suburban. in theory. Well, this is generally what I was going after, turning a inner rocker for a pickup truck into one for a Suburban. Still have to do a little more work, obviously. Got to fill in these bigger gaps, and this piece was a generic inner rocker, so it's a little taller than this one. So probably once it's in the vehicle, you know, I'll just run a line across there and cut this and make it even. But that's it. So, yeah. So I got the inner rocker stitched in, smoothed out a little bit here, but I still have to smooth out the rest of this. Obviously, this all has to be taken care of. But up here, I'm taking the inner rocker and tied it into the original floor pan right here. It's a little connection piece. That's all smoothed out and primed.